everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Football Fignuts podcast. This is Season 3, Episode 21. If you're keeping track, it's Episode 121, and sidebar, this is also going to be partly a Thanksgiving Day football game special. I'm Craig.
I'm Sinch.
And Sinch is back, because Britt is somewhere in the Mediterranean. Not really, I think he's in the Atlantic.
He's not here.
He's not here.
I've looked.
He's not here at all. Though he did send us some text messages. He is alive, and he's drinking 12-year-old scotch.
That made me wish I was there, too.
Yeah, it did. That did. Yeah.
That would be weird, though, the three of us on a cruise together like that.
I mean, the cruise ship is big enough that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't make it that weird. Unless you're staying in the same room.
There's nothing wrong with it, but I don't know.
So how are you, sir? You haven't been here in a while. How's everything?
Been weeks.
It's been weeks. It's been weeks.
Things are great.
Good.
Just happy to be here.
Thank you. I'm glad you're here.
I'm glad you're glad that I'm here.
Thank you. So we'll start off with a beer, as we always do. This beer was also one of my birthday presents from my brother. This beer in particular is from the Maine Beer Company in Freeport, Maine. This is called Post Ride Snack. It's a session IPA. So I'm guessing you're supposed to drink this after you ride a bike. I'm assuming.
Well, I rode here, so...
You did, but were you on a bike?
No.
Because there's a bike on the bottle, but not in the glass.
I don't have the bottle.
So give that a taste, and I'll see what the side of this bottle says.
It is very cloudy.
Very cloudy. This is 4.9% alcohol, and if Dave's not in the office, he's out on a cycling adventure. He's almost certainly drinking a beer afterward. We didn't know why biking and beer go together so well, but they just do. And there you have it.
Dave's an alcoholic.
We brewed this session IPA with a refreshing post-ride snack with aromas of passion fruit, guava, and grapefruit, and underlying notes of grass and pine. Do you get any of that out of this beer?
I was just thinking I'm terrible at this. Tastes like beer.
It tastes like beer, but he's not spitting it out, so it's not bad. He's thinking about it. It's just beer.
I've had stuff that it's like, well, I could really taste the grapefruit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not good at the differentiating the flavors, and it tastes like beer. It's good.
It's a session, so it's really light. I was at Aspetuck Brewery down the street earlier today. They have a beer called Grisette, which is really light beer. It was made actually for French miners to drink when they were done with their shift. So it's an extremely light beer. It kind of reminds me of that. It's really easy to drink and really light.
I agree.
So yeah. So there we go. So going on to the next topic, of course, is burning hot takes. Would you like to give or receive, sir?
Oh, I'm ready.
All right. He pulls something out of his pocket.
I'm the king of the little small papers.
He has a little piece of paper and a note.
Okay. So I did a little bit of research. So last year, our home league, PPR scoring.
Yes.
All right. So here, Mahomes led quarterbacks with 482
points.
Okay. So right now, Lamar Jackson leads with 348.
Okay.
They have 5 games? 5 games left.
5 games left. Yep.
I think he's going to blow away the 482, which I think was like highest fantasy points scored.
Right.
What do you think? Is Lamar Jackson's season this year
Patrick Mahomes last year?
Does it make Mahomes' season pale by comparison?
Just regarding fantasy points, or just in general?
Well, you know what? In both, because Mahomes came on the scene last year, and it was like, wow, look at this guy. Every game, he's 40 points.
Right. Yeah. So
it didn't matter so much how he got it running or passing.
Right. So for me, like with Lamar Jackson, it's kind of funny because I work with a Ravens fan. And last year, I used to bug this dude so much about Lamar Jackson. Because now, okay, let's face it, folks. Last year, Lamar Jackson was not Lamar Jackson this year. Lamar Jackson would miss receivers by like 15 yards anytime he threw. So he's having a really impressive year. I think the style in which he's doing it makes it even more impressive because it's mostly from running for the most part. And actually, I just read today that in Madden 20, they actually just upped his speed by 2 points. So now he's at a 96 in Madden, which makes him the highest rated quarterback like ever in rushing, especially over Michael Vick. If he continues on this trend, yeah, he's definitely going to pass Mahomes. My only concern is when you have a quarterback like that, like it just makes me really nervous that he's going to get hurt. Like it just.
But you know what? He's a different kind of guy.
He is.
He's so big, and when he runs, it seems like he's hitting them harder than they're hitting him. And even with that, he doesn't take any hard hits.
Right.
Kind of Barry Sanders like.
With like
Sanders never
with
got
like
drilled.
with Russell Wilson's height. But I think this week is actually going to be the biggest challenge for him because they're playing the 49ers. And I think if anyone is going to stop him, it's probably going to be Nick Bosa because Nick Bosa is a very fast defensive end.
Yeah, but those ends run right past him, and then he
just
goes inside.
It's all about contain. And if you played football, it's one of those skill sets that you really, really have to be mindful of because you're so focused on going after the quarterback and your job is contain. If you're not focused on what your job is, it's really, really easy to just shoot by someone and then you've left the entire side open and then there goes Lamar Jackson.
And just saying that makes me wish I was young enough to go play.
Wait, do you want to be a quarterback or a defensive end?
No, defense. Always wanted to hit someone.
Well, I mean, you could on offense, depending.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're an offensive lineman or like a fullback. Actually, the fullback position is really just a dead position now, isn't it?
It's like a defensive position because you go out there and hit someone.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. So for me, and we discussed this earlier, so I'll just bring it up again so it's on the air. Are you concerned about the Patriots receivers at all? Because like I asked before in our chat, there's Julian Edelman, and then I kind of forgot about Mohamed Sanu, and then I don't know.
Bunch of guys named Joe.
Exactly. Like, would you want the Patriots to sign someone or pick up Jordan Matthews who just got cut?
Well, you think about Matthews, and he just got cut by an Eagle team that has no receivers. So if they're cutting him, I don't want any part of him. Plus, he was there, I think it was this year, if not this year, last season. He was in training camp. They signed him, and they cut him. I think it was this season. Training camp so long ago.
The
Patriots.
Patriots actually signed him?
They signed him in the offseason.
Okay.
And then in summer, they cut him. Am I concerned? Yeah. I mean, fantasy-wise, you're not using anybody. Edelman, I wouldn't use Sanu.
So you would use Edelman and that's it?
Yeah, and he's not maybe a wide receiver.
2.5?
Yeah, he's like a late 2 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
In reality,
no.
What are you going to do? There's nothing you could do to fix it. Antonio Brown's the only thing you could do to make it better. You can't make a trade. You can't pick up anybody. There's no one to pick up.
So you just got to roll with it and
Last
see what
year
happens.
at this time, I said to you guys, this team is not that good. And then the
He
playoffs started, and they were an entirely different team in the playoffs than they were all season long.
Is that how you feel this year?
Pretty much. Their defense is great this year.
It is.
Their offense
is not so much.
Well, they got the first-round pick from 2 years ago is a tackle that's been out all year. He came back this week, so maybe the offensive line can get better. And then they've got N'Keal Harry's the first-round pick wide receiver from this year, and he just came back last week, and he was on IR, and he came back. So maybe, who knows what he is. He's played, I think, 2 games now.
Like, do you even trust the Patriots running game? You can't in fantasy because, honestly, they have, 3 running backs? You can't pick one of them because it really just depends on the day.
Well, if we're talking fantasy, no. You're right. Everything you said's right. You can't. They're your last option. In fact, if you're talking fantasy, the only user you're using on that team is the defense. Otherwise, you don't want anybody. You don't want anybody. If we're talking the real world, the coach is so good that they always seem to do what they need to do to win. And then you get the playoffs, and who knows?
You're right.
Someone's going to win, someone's going to lose.
Season 2.0, and then who knows what happens.
I'm not worried about it.
All right.
That leads me to my next quick question for you.
Of course.
Okay, so last year, Barkley, 387 fantasy points. McCaffrey has 354 already.
Okay.
and he's got 5 games to go.
Yes.
So here's my question to you. McCaffrey, along with Michael Thomas, are so good at their position. When they talk MVP in the league, why can't they win?
And this actually kind of goes back to the whole Super Bowl talk. If for some for whatever reason, quarterbacks just outshine every other position no matter what. It's kind of it doesn't really make sense if you think about it.
Fair.
It isn't at all, because you sent me that factoid earlier today that Michael Thomas has more receptions than the Eagles. So and same thing with McCaffrey. He's an amazing all-purpose running back, and just quarterbacks just get the limelight because everyone's now talking about Lamar Jackson.
Well,
I mean, rightfully so.
Yeah.
Exactly. But as soon as Lamar started, and then Drew Brees came back, and then you really didn't hear about McCaffrey anymore.
Well, the great thing about McCaffrey, all you have to do
or
is
Russell Wilson
just
watch
one game with McCaffrey. If he's not catching it, if he's not running it, the ball's in
somewhere.
his hands almost as much as the quarterback. He's getting 85% of the touches.
Right. So now I had him last year. You have him this year. Are you concerned about his usage? Do you think they're just going to burn him out, or he's going to be done in 2 years?
Well, I only have him for this year.
That's true. I mean, unless you decide to keep him.
It's like, I don't know, it's like having a relief pitcher on your favorite baseball team. Use him every inning. I don't care. Next year, we'll get somebody else. Am I concerned long-term for him and his career? Yeah, it's probably not the best thing. But put yourself in his shoes where he's 26 years old.
Yeah,
you could do anything.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not going to wear down.
No, and then you hit 30 and you realize you can't bend over and tie your shoes.
Then you hit 40 and things hurt and you didn't earn that pain.
Exactly. All right, so now we're going to go on to America's favorite game. This time, Sinch is going to pick. So, sir, I have the spreads in front of me, so I'll let you pull up the schedule there.
I'm ready.
All right. So this week, including Thursday's games, we have one game over 50. Just one.
Wait, let me guess. And you have one game under 15.
We have, let's see, 1, 2. We have 3 games under 40. Which would you like to do first, sir?
I'm going to do the under because the first game on the schedule is the Bears-Lions, and that's got to be under.
That is under at a 38.
I'll take the under 38.
Okay, that's 2 more.
Okay, we're looking for an under.
Under 40. 2 games under 40.
How about Redskins-Panthers?
And that is actually a 40.
Yeah, well, it's 40 or under. Close enough?
Close enough. It's all right.
Okay.
Keep going.
Some Jeopardy music here.
Yep.
How about the Bucks-Jags?
How? The Bucks-Jags are 48.5.
Wow.
Guess again.
Did I say Redskins-Panthers yet?
You did.
Okay, I really think that's an under. Eagles-Dolphins.
Eagles-Dolphins is a 45.
God.
I was surprised about that myself.
See, it's tough because, I don't know. Titans-Colts.
Titans-Colts is a 43.5.
I'm sure I've struck out by now.
I'll give you one more because it's Thanksgiving.
Guess. Oh, it's a Thanksgiving game?
No, I'm just saying because it's Thanksgiving, I'll give you one more.
I just eliminated 2 right there. Okay, I'll say the Jets-Bengals.
Jets-Bengals is a 41.
Okay, Browns-Steelers.
That is actually 39.5.
Okay.
The other game...
I've struck out.
You did struck out. The other game at a 38.5 is the Chargers-Broncos. Are you surprised about that at all? Chargers at Broncos. Division game.
I am surprised at that because I think the Broncos defense is overrated. I don't think they're that good this year. And the Chargers were so bad the last 2 or 3 weeks. Mm-hmm. They're due.
But do you think Denver's stadium just gives them a slight advantage or not really?
Yeah, the Chargers just played in Mexico, and that's worse than Mile High, so...
True. And they didn't play very well.
Well, maybe you're right then.
All right, so what do you think is the one game over 50? It's also a divisional game.
Chiefs Raiders.
There you go. It is a 51.5.
You know,
You take the over in that? After the Raiders just got destroyed by the Jets?
can you trust the Raiders? I trust the Chiefs.
Only because the
will
Chiefs
put up 35.
Only because
the
the Chiefs' defense is just eh.
I think I'd take the over.
Take the over in that? Now, which under would you take?
Oh, I'm going under. I'm putting the house on the Bears being under. It's like I said to you a second ago.
Yeah.
Trubisky is in that game, and he's the better quarterback.
Think about that, folks. Because as we were saying, the Lions are out 2 quarterbacks now. And then what was the name of their possibly starting QB?
Blah.
So Matt Stafford is hurt. Jeff Driscoll, who used to be a Bengal, who I wish was still there, he is injured.
Stafford has a broken back and wants to play.
Yes.
And then you got, what was his name? Driscoll?
Jeff Driscoll. He was the
Jeff Driscoll.
Bengals backup.
He's perfectly healthy. He just, I don't want to do this anymore. Please make him stop. Blow the whistle.
Necessary Roughness is a good movie. But the next guy down the list is David. And sorry, dude, I really do not know how to pronounce your last name. It's Blough. So it's
I think it's Blow.
Blow? Like, do we put a French accent on it?
I like Blow.
Sure. All right, we can go with that. Perfect. All right.
Who wouldn't like Blow? That's a good name.
It's the name of a movie, too, from a while ago. So, Sinch is going to reach... I'm going to finish this beer, and Sinch is going to reach into the magic bag and see what I brought him this week. And while Sinch is doing that, I'm going to say hi, Deb. Hi, Deb.
Hi, Deb.
Deb's probably off, so she probably won't hear this till next week.
Deb, what the hell? Come on. we rely on you. Okay. I've reached into the bag.
Reach in the bag. What did I bring for you, sir?
Satin sheets.
Satin sheets. That's right.
I'm a little uncomfortable.
Hey, satin sheets are very comfortable, actually.
Yes, but me and you talking about them is the uncomfortable part.
So this is a chocolate stout. This is from Aspetuck Brew Lab, who has, I gotta say, their can art is really cool because it makes it all look like, scientific symbols and whatnot. The scientific table that I can't think of the exact name of. Yeah, but this is a, it's 5.5, it's 7.5%. It is a chocolate stout, and it's aged with cocoa nibs. So I'll let you open that first, sir, and give it a try.
Cool. I got, according to the Surgeon General, women should not drink alcohol if they are pregnant. So I'm set because
you're good.
I'm not pregnant.
Oh, good. Bush.
Not that I know
of. As for a chocolate stout, I didn't think this was that sweet, which is good for me because I can't really do a lot of overly sweet things. Since many years ago, I really cut sugar out of my diet, a long time ago. So now, if I drink anything made with sugar, like soda, I can't finish a normal can of soda because it's just too sweet for me, or Snapple for that matter. So give that a try, sir.
I think I will. Looks good.
It is very dark.
It is as dark as could be.
Cannot see through it. It is. I would say it's darker, probably a little bit darker. Took a swig, and what do you think?
It's good. Tastes like chocolate beer. And you're right. It's not super sweet.
It's not. You get for me, I get a little coffee, but it's more chocolate.
Mm-hmm. When you have the sweet chocolate or coffee flavored, really you can't do more than one. It's it's good. I don't know when I would drink it, but it tastes good. Something like this, you could have 2 of them.
Yeah, it's not over.
You can't go crazy.
Right. But it's not an overly sweet dessert beer because I've had stouts. Chocolate stouts before that. I have a taster of it and I'm done because it's just too much for me. But this one's pretty good.
I like beer.
Well, good thing we're a partly beer podcast.
Beer's my friend. Beer's never let me down.
Even when you don't like it?
What do you mean I don't like it?
I mean, have you ever had a beer that just let you down?
Yeah, but that's that sour. We were talking about it. The sour.
Well, yeah, people either like sours or they don't. So
the
it's
crazy
not really...
sour. I can't do.
You can't do it.
Some of the normal sour I can do.
So what would you say is a normal sour?
I don't know. Open up something. I'll taste it and I'll tell you.
Fair enough. All right, so moving on to our metric. Now, I will say this. Britt is the keeper of the metric and his secretive formula. So with that, I don't have access to this secret formula. But I have an outline of it, but not the exact thing. So we're just going to go by the outline. So we're going to go over quarterbacks first, and then we'll go from there. So this week, quarterbacks. The top quarterback rating right now for DraftKings is Patrick Mahomes playing Oakland. Right now he is sitting at 7,400, so he is a bit pricey. Not horribly, but he's a bit pricey. Then next on the list is Lamar Jackson playing San Francisco. I think personally I'm going to avoid, for me, and I mentioned this before, I think this is going to be Lamar Jackson's biggest challenge for defense. So he's 7,000. So for me, I think I may avoid him.
If you were going to say, I don't care 7,000, say I don't care 7,400 and take Mahomes.
Right, exactly. Then we have Sinch's favorite, Aaron Rodgers. He's playing the Giants. He's 6,500. How do you feel about...
He's a very good pick this week.
Because he's playing the Jets. Giants, sorry. Well, New York team.
They're worse than the Jets.
Think about that.
Yeah, that's... If you're the Giants, you don't want to think about
that. Next on the list would be Jameis Winston playing Jacksonville. He is 6,300. Kyler Murray is playing the Rams. Do the Rams have just like Super Bowl hangover? I don't know what happened to that team.
The Patriots broke them.
They did. They seriously are not...
They showed that Goff is terrible.
Now, here's my question. Is it Goff's terrible, or is he having a bad season because his quarterback coach left?
Goff is terrible.
All right. Period.
I didn't mean to leave that out there like there was more coming. No, that's all. Goff's terrible. I don't want to sound like I know anything because I don't know anything.
Right.
But you just watching him in the Super Bowl, he missed a lot of... It wasn't... There were passes that he could have made that he just... I don't know. I don't know if he froze. I don't know. He's terrible. Trubisky, he's terrible. There's just certain guys that you look at. Jameis Winston, he's terrible. How many times do you have to see the guy turn the ball over?
Didn't he have like 3 interceptions last week or 4? Maybe.
He starts the game with 2.
That's what it was. Yeah.
He's terrible. Mariota, he's terrible. I'm sorry.
That's why he got benched.
Everything you hear, he's a great guy. He's a better person than I am. He'll be in heaven. Maybe I won't. He shouldn't be starting. He's not a good quarterback.
Then the next down list is Sam Darnold, who, after he got over he came back, he had that first horrible game against the Patriots. He's actually been decent.
See, he's not terrible. He's going to have a career.
He will.
I don't know if he's a Pro Bowl guy, but...
He's going to have an okay career. And then Nick Foles, he's playing Tampa Bay, is 5,700. Do you have any preference in QB this week?
I've used Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
I would use Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of like Kyler Murray, too.
Do you?
Well, he could do... He's Lamar Jackson light.
Yeah, he is shorter.
He's not a runner, but he can run.
Right, he can definitely scramble.
If he decided he could run, he could get away from guys. He wouldn't want to take too many hits because he's a little guy.
Right. Especially compared to Lamar. I think Lamar Jackson's like twice his size.
He's 6,400. Baker Mayfield, that could be interesting. I know he's Cleveland Brown. I know where we stand on that. And everything Britt said last week was right. You were right. You've nailed it. You're 100% right on Cleveland. We were all wrong. That being said, they're like one game out of a playoff spot. They play the Steelers this week, starting a guy named Duck at quarterback. So you could kind of still see a path to the playoffs for the Browns.
Yeah.
It's not impossible.
It's not possible.
I'm not saying I'd bet on it, but it could happen.
They can make a wild card.
And I picked up Baker because I had Mahomes in our season leagues, one of my season leagues, and Mahomes had the bye week. So I picked up Baker, and he was the second best quarterback last week behind Lamar.
Yeah, because they were playing Miami, who I have to say that Fitzmagic had 28 points last week. And
You're preaching to the choir.
I just want to say that, 2 other people on my team had a combined of 9 points. So, yeah.
Hey, I played you this week.
You did.
Well, I mean, I played this week. I'm not sure what you did.
Yeah, I lost by 100 points. Anyway, moving on to running back.
moving along.
Running backs. Now, of course, the very top running back is Christian McCaffrey at 10,500.
He's been locked in at that amount for, what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks?
Yeah,
it's been a while.
At least.
Is he just going to be stuck at that price for the rest of the year?
He is, because I think if DraftKings makes running backs any higher, people are just going to lose their shit.
and like the next guy down is Chubb and Henry, and they're both 7,800. Yep. That's 2,700 less. I love McCaffrey, but it's so hard to use him because he's so expensive.
I tried making a lineup with McCaffrey and Michael Thomas. You can't, like...
It was the two of them, and your friends. They were write-ins.
Once I got done, putting in a tight end of defense, I had to spend, 4,200 on everyone else. It's very hard to do. But then, you have Le'Veon Bell. He's playing the Bengals. He's 7,200. Josh Jacobs playing Kansas City. And again, Kansas City's defense is kind of eh.
Love Jacobs.
He's 6,900.
He's one of my favorite players for this season.
Is he?
Yeah.
He's
I like that guy. He's good.
The Raiders are having a much better year than everyone thought they would.
Which makes it so unbelievable that they went to the Jets this past week. And no, they didn't go to the Jets.
They didn't go to the Jets. People in their uniforms went to the Jets.
They sent some fans dressed in their uniforms.
They only scored 10 points in that game, didn't they? Or 8?
8 points.
It was not good.
Terrible.
Next person down is Saquon playing Green Bay. He's 7,400.
I would stay away from him.
Would you?
I think he's hurt. And it's the kind of thing where when a guy's playing and they're injured, do you say, hey, this guy's really tough. I like the fact that he drags himself out there and does his best every week. Or do you say, I don't want to hear about it. You're playing. You need to be better if you're going to play. Otherwise, don't play and someone else will do it. Barkley has been the biggest disappointment of the season.
Has he?
I think so.
I mean, in general or?
In fantasy or in general. He was pretty much the number 1 or number 2 pick overall for everyone.
He was.
And boy, am I happy I had the second pick because I would have taken him over McCaffrey.
So going down next would be Leonard Fournette playing Tampa Bay. He's 7,500. Tampa Bay's defense is not super.
I like Fournette a lot.
Okay.
He doesn't seem to get touchdowns, though.
No, he just gets a lot of yards.
A lot of yards.
Then we got Nick Chubb playing Pittsburgh. He's 78. Melvin Gordon playing Denver. He is 6,400. And then the guy running in Indianapolis now is Jonathan Williams. He's playing Tennessee. He's 5,300. I don't know about that.
I like him.
For 5,300? Yeah, maybe.
It's tough when you're talking price. But he put up about 25 points last week.
Yeah.
I think he's good for 20 points.
And then the last person on the list, it would be Mark Ingram, who he's 6,000. I'm staying away from Mark Ingram because A, Lamar Jackson, and B, San Francisco's defense is really good.
I think that game right there is a good game to fade both teams. Just stay away, watch and
It'll
enjoy.
Be a good game to watch.
Watch and enjoy, but I don't know if you want to use anybody there.
No. So who would you really want to use? Because you already said McCaffrey's too expensive, but who's somebody that you're like, yep, I want this guy in my lineup this week?
I kind of like Le'Veon Bell against the Bengals, but he hasn't. Has he had a 100-yard game this year? I don't know if he has.
I don't think so. Or if he did, it was once.
And by now, you got to figure every running back is hurt. They're playing because they're football players. That's what they do.
Right.
But I don't know if he's healthy. I like Jacobs a lot.
Yeah,
he's playing against the Chiefs' 32nd ranked defense.
For me, it's either going to be Jacobs or is going to pay me to say this, but Derrick Henry. Just because it's Tennessee.
But what's the rule? The rule is always stay away from players after they have the big week.
That's true. That is true.
Another guy I like
Yeah.
is Eckler. I think Eckler, if you're in a PPR league, he catches a lot of balls.
Mm-hmm.
He'll run some, but he'll have 7 catches, 8 catches a game. And I think the worst thing that ever happened to San Diego is Melvin Gordon coming back. He should have just went away.
You think that just threw off their whole offense?
Or
was it a
they had a
distraction?
different team earlier in the year. And when Melvin Gordon saw that no one cared that he was gone, then he came back.
Right.
And they felt like they had to use him.
And now just threw off
They should have traded him,
thing.
gotten rid of him.
They should have.
Sent him to the curb.
All right. So next on the list would be wide receivers. And at the top of the list is Tyreek Hill at 8,900. It's a very expensive receiver. Next is Devontae Adams, who's coming back to play at Giants. He is 7,000. Chris Godwin is 7,700 playing Jacksonville. And then next one down is Mike. God, can we just get over Mike Evans?
See, here's where you use
Mike
Mike Evans,
Evans,
though.
This is the week to use Mike Evans?
Who had the big week last week? It wasn't Evans.
It was Goodwin.
There you go. So, Mike Evans, it's your turn. Come on up.
This is true. This is very true. Then we have Mr. Shark. He is 6,600. Then DJ Moore playing Washington. He is 68. And Cooper Kupp's playing Arizona. He's 71. Cooper Kupp.
Where's Christian Kirk on that list?
Christian Kirk. He's a little bit down the list.
Is he a no-go?
No, he's 5,700. He's playing the Rams. He's a little bit towards the bottom of our list right now, but for
I wonder.
Decent salary, that's not bad.
The Rams were demoralized. The Ravens kicked them all around in the public and in and out of the stadium, and they beat them so bad that they quit. Mm-hmm. So I just wonder if this could be a game where you look at and you say, well, the Rams should probably bounce back, and maybe they just don't have the bounce back in them. I think they've lost their bounce.
Right.
I think they were bounced.
They've lost their bounce.
They were bounced out of bounds.
Show, folks.
They're like an old rubber band. There's no stretch left. There's no bounce. So I can see Arizona winning. It's in Arizona.
It is.
So I could see having a Kyler Murray day. And if he's throwing the ball, Kirk has been his guy. Kirk or Fitzgerald, but I can't use Larry Fitzgerald.
Fitz?
He seems like a nice guy. From everything that I've ever heard, he seems like a great guy. I just don't.
How do you feel about using Ty against Tennessee? Not so much.
You ever have him and you watch a Colt game and it's like he's going to have a big game today and the first 3 balls thrown his way he drops or they're overthrown or underthrown. And it's like, boy, he was open.
Yeah.
And then the next one where he's open, it's going to be a 45-yard catch, maybe a touchdown, he drops it. I don't know. I mean, again, Tennessee had a blowout. So maybe this week they're a little bit off their game and they're really not as good as they showed last week.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. The Colts are so funny. It seems like their offense is a running game now.
Yeah,
and Eric Ebron is out for the year.
Yep. The Colts are. It's weird. Like they had the whole thing with Luck just retiring, and then they were doing okay, and then Brissett got hurt, and then it has kind of been on this downswing.
I'll tell you, Frank Reich is a great coach.
He is.
I would be very happy if I was a Colt fan and he was my coach.
That's right. He's a good coach. But so who is your go-to guy this week at receiver? Somebody that you're going to try to afford in your lineup.
I like Mike Evans. He's not super expensive.
No, he's 6,900, so he's mid-range. Not overly pricey.
The DraftKings that I'm playing this week, I'm not including any of the Thanksgiving games because I can't. They'll be on where I am, but there's so much going on. I can't watch the game, and I want to be able to watch at least like Red Zone or I want to know what's going on while it's going on.
Right.
And on Thanksgiving, there's no guarantee that I could do that.
Right.
So I like Mike Evans. I'm interested in Jarvis Landry. I don't know.
Playing Pittsburgh. He's 6,400.
Wide receiver might be a position that I kind of pay lower for to see if I could pay higher at other positions.
Like, especially if you want to afford Christian McCaffrey.
It's like I said, I like Christian Kirk. I don't know.
My top two this week, if I can afford them, would be Devontae Adams against the Giants or DJ Shark against Tampa Bay. And/or
Both good picks.
if I can have both of them in my lineup, I would be very, very happy. All right, so on to tight end. And of course, the top two are sort of predictable. Travis is playing Oakland. He is 7,200, so it is pricey for a tight end. Zach Ertz playing Miami, 6,700. Hunter Henry playing Denver, he's 58. And George Kittle had a huge game, but again, playing Baltimore, he's 6,100. He had a huge game last week. And Darren Waller playing Kansas City is 5,500, so he went down a little bit.
There's my guy right there. I like Waller a lot.
So you're a Raiders players fan this year.
I guess so. I like Waller. Their slot receiver Renfro, he got hurt real bad.
Yeah, he did. We were big on Renfro for a couple weeks.
He got a punctured lung, and the way they made it sound, it's like IR, forget him. He doesn't exist.
Oh,
he was cutting into Waller's targets, so I think with him gone, Waller might get more targets.
Especially playing Kansas City.
The Chief defense doesn't scare anybody. It kind of makes me wonder. He's 55, Kelsey's 72. That's 1,700 right there. You could save and you could put into another position, maybe McCaffrey. So I like Waller a lot.
The next on the list is Mark Andrews playing San Francisco, which we already said we're going to just ignore that game. Then there's Greg Olsen, who always shows up on our list. Sometimes he does some stuff. Sometimes he doesn't do anything.
There's a guy I want to mention now. A couple of weeks ago, we were like, well, here's the cheap option.
Yeah.
Griffin, the tight end for the Jets, he was 2,800 a couple of weeks ago when I was here. And we were talking use him, and I did, and he got a touchdown. I did really well with him that week. He's up to 4,300
doubled in price.
And they're playing the Bengals.
They're playing the Bengals, whose defense is not good.
He's another guy that you could use that's less expensive that I think
definitely.
I think he could be good for a touchdown.
Oh, definitely. Especially since they just gave him a contract extension after last week. So, yeah, there's Ryan Griffin. Dallas Goedert is playing Miami. He is 4,100 if you really want to save even more money.
That's tough because he's the second tight end on the team.
He is, but you've noticed the other tight end is not on this list.
Well, what's he hurt?
No, he's just lowered down a list because he's getting less targets.
Well, he is questionable, Ertz.
Right.
The other guy I would say that maybe, you're looking to save a little bit, you could go to Jack Doyle. He's the number one guy now. He's only 3,300.
That's true. And because of who they're playing this week, Jimmy Graham playing the Giants, he's 3,800.
Stay away.
So if you want to save some money, he needs what? What does he need? Like 50 yards and a touchdown? He can do that.
Stay away.
Not a Jimmy Graham fan.
He'll drop it. Whatever you're talking, he'll drop it. He's the guy that he needs 2 passes in the end zone to get 1 touchdown because he's going to drop the first one. The second one he's good for.
That's true. That is true.
He's someone who, in everyone's mind, they know his name, and they know he was really good once.
He was.
But that was about 5 seasons ago now. He's not really good.
I think him going to Seattle just threw his career off track. Because I know he was hurt.
There's no reason for it. He should have been good.
Well, that's the problem is they used him as a blocking tight end. And then, he got hurt and then it didn't work. Because Seattle doesn't really use their tight ends historically. All right, so on to defenses.
Here's what I've been doing with defenses.
What have you been doing?
What's the cheapest defense you could use? And I don't mean the cheapest one like salary-wise. I mean, what's the cheapest one you could use? That's what I've been doing with defenses.
That's usually what you have to do. Well, it's definitely not going to be the Eagles. They're playing Miami, but they're 3,600.
I would take the Cardinals. I already think they're going to beat the Rams. 2,300.
2,300. That saves you a lot of money.
So I'm saying you got to save somewhere to pay up somewhere else.
That's right. Or if you want to stay under 3,000, the Titans defense is 2,900. Titans defense isn't horrible.
Well, they're playing the Colts though.
They're playing the Colts who are
broken.
broken.
They're not gonna put a lot of points on you. but they can control the clock. I could see that being a 28-24 kind of game.
Yeah. So now here's the top. I'll give you the top 5 defenses. So it's Eagles are playing Miami. They're 3,600. The Panthers are playing Washington. They are 3,800. And the Jets are playing Cincinnati. They're 3,700. And the Packers playing the Giants are 3,400. And the Steelers playing Cleveland are 3,500. Now, you'll notice how everyone I just said is over $3,000. That is a lot of money to spend on a defense in DFS.
Especially some of those teams aren't great defensive teams. They're just
playing
favorable
bad
matchups.
Right, they're just playing bad offenses.
I wouldn't trust the Jet defense.
No, especially Dalton's coming back. I mean,
Dalton,
it could.
I'm not saying Cincinnati's going to win, but
they're going to score.
That could be a 28-27 game.
It very easily could be. So you're just going to go with the Cardinals and just...
I'll pay low on defense.
You'll pay low. All right. Yeah, I mean, you have to do that because, again, you really don't want to spend a lot on defense.
Defense and tight end I've been going really low on.
Is it working for you, generally?
I'm not the biggest gambler. So while I'm playing DraftKings every week, I'm not losing or winning enough money to make it worth my, But that's where I am.
Right. Nice.
If I were to say, yeah, I put in $250,000 this week, and
people do,
and I came back with $375,000 this week, that's impressive. But if I bet a quarter and I won, $435,000,
right? But
that's like equally impressive for a quarter.
True, but if or the same thing, if you bet a quarter and you win like $100, that is also impressive.
Yeah, but you're not going to say I'm calling out the rest of the week.
No, you're not.
Like, I'm calling the guys and we're going on a cruise. You're not going to do that.
No. Maybe you know what? Maybe if we win the Millionaire Maker one day, we'll do that. You never know. You never know.
No, I know. You're not gonna do it. It's too hard. It's too stupid. It's too random.
It is. It's like when you think, what do you think? Okay, so what do you think is easier, doing that or winning Lotto? What do you think your chances are better at?
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to win either.
But what do you think?
I don't even buy Lotto tickets. I'll buy. I'm one of those people that it's only 25 million. Oh, it's not worth my time. It's 600 million. Oh, okay. I guess I'll buy one. If I ever win anything, it'll be on one of those scratch-offs that are win for life where you get something every month.
I would be okay with that.
Oh, yeah, that's the way to go.
I would be perfectly fine with that. Now, that's the crazy, not crazy, but the math question you always ask, people get asked, do you take it one payment at a time or you take the lump sum?
I haven't even let myself think about that question because it's like, yeah, I'm not gonna do it. And the worst part, when I buy the ticket for the $600 gazillion million lottery,
yeah,
and I don't win, and I don't even get one number, I'm disappointed. How stupid is that? You look at the ticket, it's like, real? I didn't get anything?
You know what? There's sometimes in fantasy football I feel the same way.
He got 0?
Yeah. Alvin Kamara got 8 points. Hooray. Great. That worked out for me.
What happened to him this year? I know he was injured, but what happened to him?
Yeah, he got injured, and they started using Murray, and I feel like they just changed their offensive around to like cater to that. I don't want to say cater, but to adjust for that, and really has not been the same as last year. I think him and Ingram were a really good tandem, and instead of using the running back by committee ish between him and Murray, like it just didn't. It's not working out.
According to our CBS league, he's the 12th running back so far this year.
That's crazy.
And
that's bananas.
Who's
the top 11?
So ahead of him was Carson is 11, Jacobs is 10, Ingram is 9, Derrick Henry is 8. The reason I'm laughing is I'm just thinking to myself out loud, okay, so the running backs that we're talking about are, I'm listing them. Where would Lamar Jackson go? Because he's on pace for 1,200 yards rushing.
Right.
So he's got to be in here somewhere. So Henry was whatever the number he was, 8.
Yep.
Eckler is 7. Elliott is 6. Fournette is 5. Imagine where he'd be if he got into the end zone. Jones is 4. Chubb is 3. Delvin Cook is 2. And McCaffrey is 1.
Wow. Now, if I showed you that list in August before our draft, would you have believed that list? But as like Sinch, I just made this list up out of the top of my head. Would you have been like, you're crazy?
McCaffrey, Cook, I could believe them too. Those two guys. Chubb, he's got to show me in Cleveland and
right.
with their targets, they're going to want to throw the ball. Aaron Jones, I wasn't a big fan of. I didn't think he was that good. He's 4, so hey, good for him. Fournette, I wouldn't think so because he's never going to stay healthy, but he is. Elliott is 6th. Wasn't Dallas the top offensive team coming into this past week?
I believe so.
Something like around there.
They were up there.
He's not having a great year. He's having a good, solid year, but he's not having a great year. And, Eckler is the second running back on the team, and he's 7th for the season.
In the NFL.
I guess to answer your question, I wouldn't like that.
You would
list.
just be like, you're crazy. That's bananas.
I would say, where's Kamara and where's Barkley? I think it's unusual that you would have 2 of the top 3 that everybody says these are the top 3.
That
you would have
much.
2 of them not in the top 10.
Right. Where was Barkley?
I didn't see him. See, Barkley had happened to him what everybody was afraid would happen to him. He's there. Let me count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, because I can't answer until I count.
Right.
12, 14. He's 16 right now.
16. Wow. And everyone drafted him first.
It's week, what are we in, 13?
Will be 13.
Week 13, so he's played 11 games with his bye week. He has gotten only 125 points for the season.
That is bananas. And he wasn't even hurt.
You would think by accident he would get better than that.
You
know the guys directly ahead of him?
Yeah.
Marlon Mack, Phillip Lindsay, Le'Veon Bell, and then Kamara.
Wow. And he was first on everyone's list.
You know who's only 2 points behind him to put it into perspective?
Sure.
Todd Gurley is 2
Really?
2 points behind him. That's it.
Wow. And there you go, folks. That just proves you how insane fantasy football can be.
I'm looking for your favorite.
I know.
David Johnson has only gotten 90 points so far.
Where is he compared to Mixon?
Mixon?
Mixon's, I know, low on the list because you're bad.
Boy.
Just bad. I know it's bad.
I don't want to be the guy that said I told you so.
I accept this.
Mixon has 113 points. See, the problem with Mixon was the same problem that Kerryon Johnson had. And it's shown to be the same problem Barkley has. They play for a team that doesn't get touchdowns. That's a big part of fantasy. So if you're not going to score,
a very big part of it.
And if you're a bad offensive team,
you have to throw it,
and you're 3 and out.
Yeah,
you're not going to get a lot of points.
Or if you fall behind by like 2 touchdowns, you have to throw.
You know who you want to be? You want to be Bo Scarborough.
That's right. Bo might have a good week this week. You never know.
He's playing the Bears.
Hey, Sean, you're not listening to this, but you remember when the Bears were good and their defense was good?
Hey, Sean, remember when I said Trubisky's your guy? You finally got your franchise quarterback. You should be happier about this.
Yeah, because the Bears are amazing. Yeah, great. Thanks, Sean.
Remember when all of us didn't know that Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes were in the same draft and went well down the list from Trubisky?
Yes.
So the Bears could have had a good quarterback twice.
Bears could have had anyone, really. But hey,
they know what they're doing. Leave them alone. Stop picking on the Bears.
Oh, the Bears. Yeah, so I think we're almost out of time. Any final thoughts other than making fun of Sean? Because you know what? You can use your final thought to make fun of Sean. That is totally allowed.
I don't want to call that my final thought because that's often my thought, especially since he doesn't listen to our podcast. All right, so here, I have a challenge for the crowd, for anyone listening. All right, I need for you to write in, and if we get a good one, the guys are going to read it next week when Britt is back. Here's what I want.
Okay.
What's the best penalty for the guy with the worst record in the league? This is something we don't have that I would love for us to have. The guy that finishes last, I've heard that they have to, get crazy haircuts, get tattoos. They have to pay for the whole group, the whole 10 or 12 guys to go out for dinner one night. There's got to be a good one. So that's my final thought.
All right.
If you're listening to this, write in. Craig will tell you where.
Yep. That is Fignuts DFS on Twitter or fignutsdfs@gmail.com.
All right, so do that. It'll take 2 seconds. And while you're there, give thumbs up and stars and all that other good stuff. Send good vibes our way. It doesn't hurt. Makes it so the crowd could find you better. But,
exactly.
So that's just for my own well-being. And
you know what? I like that.
And we should have that. I want to do that.
We should, though. Several people have to get permission from their wives.
We have a bunch of Mariannes in the league. That's the problem.
My final thought is just I hope everyone has a very happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate Thanksgiving. Or maybe you're just watching football,
It's not a religious holiday. Doesn't everybody celebrate?
Not really. I know people that don't.
Hey, people staying home watching 3 football games for the whole day.
Hey,
that's
know what?
Celebrating.
That is. I wish, honestly, I wish
they're not thankful for that.
I wish I can do that.
What are you thankful for?
You know what? I am thankful for this podcast being in its 3rd season. I enjoy it. And I'm thankful for you being here.
I'm happy to be here.
Thank you.
I am thankful for being a Patriot fan. I won't say anything else. Everyone hates us. I'll be quiet.
Because Sinch remembers when they were 1-16.
1-15.
15, sorry.
They didn't get that 17th game because they were so bad. I had the popcorn dumped on me on the Monday night games when the bad Jet teams would beat the hell out of them.
Remember that, folks. The Patriots were essentially the Dolphins or the Bengals.
Worse. They were Cleveland before Cleveland got a little bit of a pulse.
They were. They really were. Was that during Scott Zolak years?
Yes. Funny thing was the Colts were just as bad.
Really?
And they were in the same division, so they would both be 1-12 with 3 games to go, fighting for who could get the best record, the worst record.
Worst record. Poor Scott Zolak.
The best of the worst.
What's he doing now?
Oh, you got to look him up. He's the Patriots play-by-play guy on their home radio broadcast.
Really?
And he's one of those over-the-top homers.
Okay.
Like you and anyone who isn't a Patriot fan, he would make you sick. He's the guy that when they won the playoff game to go to the Super Bowl last year, he had the kind of famous America's worst nightmare. They're going back to the Super Bowl. And so that's what he's doing.
Yeah. Oh, well, you know what? At least he's doing something.
He's got a radio show in Boston. And
all right. So he's keeping busy.
People seem to like him.
Good. All right. Do you like him?
People seem to like him, and a lot of people seem to hate him.
All right. So
he's okay with it, though.
Okay. He's doing his thing. Good. And thank you, everyone, for downloading the episode. And if you could, leave us a review on iTunes. Just, make it constructive. So you can also find us at fignutsdfs.com. And you can find us on Facebook, Twitter. We are on YouTube now, Spotify, iTunes. So anywhere you find us. So on that note, again, have a happy Thanksgiving. I'm Craig.
I'm Sinch.
And this is the Football Fignuts Podcast. Good night, everybody.